Hey everyone, how are you this morning? We're going to do a little bit of 1 point perspective, 3 different views. Should be under an hour today, no doubt. 1 point perspective on a sunny Saturday summer morning. So hopefully we get a couple people here visiting us. I was really inspired by the movie Triplets of Bellevue. I haven't seen it, but I plan on seeing it. But I've been using some of their background images in my illustration, not my illustration class, the animation class. And I kind of want to think of some of those scenes out of my imagination a little bit and just show you a little bit about how to handle 1 point perspective 3 different ways. Excuse my scratchy throat here this morning. So Ileana is here. Hey, Ileana, how are you? Ismail Paul is here. Sabi is here. Troy is also here. And perspective isn't everyone's favorite. Leilina. Boy, I probably really butchered your name. Leilena. Organic Paul. Tavga. Awesome. Nancy has joined us. Hi, Nancy. How are you? All right. Awesome. So what we'll do, Sandy is here. Hi, Sandy. How are you? This is requested from last week, actually, to do a little bit of perspective. And usually what I tell my students is not to use 1 point perspective because 1 point perspective is kind of boring. But I want to share with you 3 different ways to use 1 point perspective. Sabrina is here. Hi, Sabrina Adams. Oleg Kawai. Hey. Good. All right, so let me get to it here because you guys have joined me, and I want to keep this live stream to an hour or so. Marie is here. Hey, Marie. And I don't want to go over that, but I usually say that, and I always go over that. So 1 point perspective, it's a very, Jill, hey, it's a very boring way to draw, like I said earlier, but let's try to talk about it, and let's try to make it a little bit more interesting. Okay, so I have my little frame here. So this is small. This is really tiny. It's only 6.5 inches wide by 4.5 inches tall. Okay, and I'm drawing today with something different. I want to use the blue Col-Erase pencil just for fun. I used to draw with the blue Col-Erase pencil all the time, and it kind of makes for a really nice kind of animation style storyboard type image for composition. Hey, Aura, Lucian, hey. All right, so let's get started. So with 1 point perspective, and you're drawing in your studio, I'm going to start with a little bit of a box here. So it's not quite 16 by 9, but kind of. And all I want to do is just draw a simple little interior. And just give me a thumbs up if the sound is good. If the sound is bad, just let me know, because I switched a couple things on my computer, and whenever you do that, hey Dana, things usually go bad really quick with this microphone and this live streaming software. So let's do vanishing point right in the middle, as boring can get, and let's do a low vanishing point. Okay, so in my classroom, I usually tell my students when we draw the classroom, you never draw the vanishing point first. But that's a life drawing situation. Thank you for that. Hey, Craig. And in your studio, it's totally okay to you decide where you want the vanishing point. Okay, good. All right, good. Sound is perfect. Thank you, guys. So, so vanishing point right over here. Let me not try to be perfect. And maybe what I'm going to do with this is just be very traditional. And in the next one, I'll kind of not be traditional. So I want to just draw an interior scene. Okay. And I don't want to be perfect with it. I'm just going to maybe do something like that. And very low horizon line. So this is my horizon line. I'll try to make it interesting. And that's my vanishing point. Now, in my studio, this is level. on the video camera, it's crooked. I don't have a problem that it's crooked actually in this perspective because it's kind of cool. So now let's just build and let's make a little kind of room here, and everything's going to kind of go to that point. Okay, so we're going to have a piece of furniture in the corner. I'll try to go fast here. A little piece of furniture, that's going to go there. That should, in one point perspective, all of that stuff should be going straight up and down. And maybe this is a little bit of a hutch. Okay, or maybe it's just a small little cupboard. And so now we're going to have corner of the room where one wall meets the other wall. Okay, and so that should go there. On this side of the room, maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little window right over here. And I should make this a little bit more ornate and not so boring. I'm going to make a curved window. And when I talk about perspective with my students, I tell them to try. Hey, Janet, how are you? Okay, thank you, Troy. I appreciate that. So a little bit of a curved molding is what I was going to say. Moldings where the floor right here meets the wall, that will give your perspective scenes character. Okay, so maybe now I've got that's just our frame, and I shouldn't have gone that dark there. So this is going to be the inside of that frame. What else could we put in this room? So maybe we're going to put a big mirror. I'm going to make these things a little bit ornate momentarily. Let me just kind of map this out. And I'm showing you like the low perspective line and what that does. Let's just do a quick little, that's a little too tall. Let's go lower. Maybe this is going to be something that is going to go to the point, and it's going to be a coat rack. Okay, so we're going to have little hooks, and we're going to have some coats maybe hanging from that, and maybe even the bottom of the coats can go there. I'm going to put like a really, maybe there's like a sweater here that's a little bit taller. First, I'm just kind of mapping out the perspective. And now let's do perhaps a hardwood floor. So we're going to do, I'm just doing this freehand. Not worried about using a ruler because in life, everything is crooked. We talk about that all the time. Hey, sir, my man. Okay. And let's just, so this wall is wrong. I need to fix that. Now, you can be a lunatic with perspective, or you can be very, very loose with it. Okay, so my pencil is a little dull right now. And let's make this molding a little bit taller, and let's make that back molding a little bit taller. I'm going to do a little bit of light and shade too. So right now in this drawing, let me resharpen. We just drew the inside of a box. Really, that's all we did here. And it's a little room, and I need to put something a little bit more interesting on that back wall. So this is our molding. This is our coat rack. Everything's going to the point. Very blasé. This is our little ornate piece of furniture. I'm going to give it a little more ornateness over here. That's going to go there. Okay, let's have that piece of wood coming up. This is not right, so I've got to fix that. That's got to go to the point. Okay, this has a... So let's talk about this. In this very, very basic one-point perspective drawing, where this wall is, it's crooked on the video screen, but it should be level. I don't care that it's Wheeling, West Virginia. Very cool. Very level. Very level. On the monitor, it's crooked. And crooked just makes it more interesting. So it's just like you looking at this interior and you making the decision that, you know what, I kind of want to make it crooked because I want there to be a different point of view. So let's just do a little bit of let's just put a picture frame up here. Okay, and I'm just going to be ornate with it. Okay, let's come on down and just let's put some curvy things. Maybe it's like a gold frame. Again, that's got to come right down to the point. And I haven't really thought about light yet, although this is a little cool window. And I'm going to put a window pane on it and something like that. Something like that. And my window panes are uneven. Let's lift that one up. Okay, good. Now, what should I put on that back wall? Let's put, oh God, what should I put on that back wall? So let's just put a bookshelf, a tall, maybe something like this. So let's come on down. Or we can make that a doorway going into another room. But I'm gonna turn it into like another little cupboard thing. So very level, and now let's do a shelf. So this shelf level, bottom of the shelf needs to go there. That needs to go there. This shelf should be level, but it's not. But these lines have to be parallel with each other. And let's make the top of this thing have a little bit of character. And let's make the bottom have a little bit of character as well. Okay, cool. Now, this part of it is going to have a little, this should be level and parallel. Should make these kind of even looking. Okay, so that is my extremely boring 1-point perspective. Okay, probably going to lose everybody here in a moment. But now let's just try to add a little bit of light and shade and a little bit more character. So let's start over here so I don't smudge everything to the right. So this little piece of furniture has a cabinet door. It's going to have a little bit of a hinge here with a little bit of character. Let's say that this thing is made out of some old wood. Okay, and you're going to literally see the wood grain. Now we build out the furniture, okay, and we make things a little bit darker in the foreground. I am going to give one wall a little bit of shadow, and the top here, maybe this wall is going to have some wallpaper on it that's going to come on straight down. So little stripes. Okay, that's cool. I like that. And the molding is going to go there, going to go there. Lalina. Cool. Deep purple. Wow. Okay, now this frame. Let's put a little sconce on the wall. Use a fancy word here. Perhaps that's a little sconce that's holding a candle. And where the... Now, what do I say all the time in all the live streams? I say different things should have different values, right? So I could make the floor a different value than the walls. And I'm going to do that right now. So let me just come across. So different things, different values. So this, what I'm basically doing here for you guys today is showing you 3 different ways that you could create an interior scene with 1-point perspective. It just so happens that this one is very kind of not too exciting. It's just a very, very simple low 1-point perspective box of a room. Okay, so let's just do the underneath part of that. Now, with some of these floorboards, I want the floor to come from the point, darker than the wall. So come from the point. You don't have to kind of outline every floorboard, but I'm just going to choose choice ones. And now we can just say, okay, cool. There's a couple of them where we see that little wood separation. And I'm not worried about making the floorboards be all equally spaced. It's going to be one of those really old world where the wood is all different sizes. So I can do a little bit more of that, give it a little bit of character with some nail holes. Now let's come over to this side. But actually, before I do, I want to give the wallpaper a different value over here so we can make this room kind of look old world. Okay, that's fun. And maybe I want, no, I'll destroy that table. I'll make this one in the background a little bit darker. So let's go here and straight down, molding, very dark. Let's go to the point. Now, let me just show you this very quickly here with this ruler. Everything's pivots on that point. So that's how you've got to think about it. It's just that everything pivots on the point. Not doing a great job of it. And everything's got to line up. Now, what's going to make the drawing look exciting and organic and different, draw a chair. Okay, we'll do, is making things have character. Let me just kind of draw these coats. So this maybe could be like a long coat. I didn't think it was going to be hot out today, but our AC is going, but it feels super hot in here. Okay, maybe we have a hook, and another hook. And this coat, I'm just going to scribble it in. Maybe there's like a little pocket there. Again, we're just doing like little storyboard type things. Let's do the wallpaper. Same thing. And should make it a little bit wider, these stripes, these vertical stripes. But again, I'm not going to worry about being perfect. So a chair. Ismael wants me to try to draw a chair. Okay, let's do that. Let's draw a round chair. And let's make this coat rack a little bit darker than the wall. Okay. And scribble just shapes right now. Good. Perhaps there's like a little hat hanging on that coat rack. Now a chair. Let me resharpen. So everything in perspective, guys, has to start from a box. Okay. So let's draw a chair against the wall. So what we're going to do is first let's place it on the floor. So over here, come on down. So we don't want the chair to be too small. And maybe this is a chair that people would use to put their shoes on or something like that. It's right. So you start, Ismael, you start when you draw anything with a simple box. Just like that. And now we're going to do the back of the chair. So that's the construction. Let's do the top seat of the chair. So that's how I would construct it. Now, if we want to make it not look like some box thing, what we can do is we could start to say, okay, we want this chair to be round. So we're going to give it a round top. And then what we're going to do is draw, I can't go too round because I'm going to go against the grain of the perspective. And maybe we're going to have this chair have a little claw foot. This should be wider. Little claw foot. And let's give it a round back in that. And let's give it the little bars going across. But those bars should be curvy for an organic look and feel. Okay, let's shade all of this. And we're going to blend it all into the background. And those construction lines are going to start to go away, hopefully. And yeah, so let's give this side of the chair a little bit of shadow. Now, press down hard on the border. We talked about how to draw straight lines last week in our live stream. Let's go straight across. Try not to press down too hard. I don't want to destroy all of the paper underneath this one. And let's give it a nice. So that's our 1 point. Let me just very quickly here finish off this little hutch, and then we'll go to a different view. So what we've done here is just the underneath. You got it. David, thank you for watching the underneath of the hutch. So, and now let me resharpen this pencil. Okay, and I'm going to get my bridge. I just want something to lean against. My bridge is just this thing. That's a piece of wood that I put at the top of my pad. And I just don't want my hand smudging what I just did there. So let's just very quickly here crank this out. Straight up and down. Now check this out with the bridge. You could use the bridge and you could glide your pencil across the bridge to make a straight line. And you can also do this with a paintbrush. I used to do this when I had to paint straight lines, and it really worked for me. So I could take this and I can go and straight line, straight line. Fourth leg of the chair. Ah, you're watching. That's good. Okay, so let's do the fourth leg of the chair. Okay, forgot about that. So that just lives here on that. I'm just going to shade it. And there's our fourth leg. Thank you so much. Good. Let's make it darker. Now, what could be on the shelves? Let's just do a little vase, some books. I'm just scribbling. This is more of like character design sort of thing for animation interiors or an illustration sketch. Okay, now I should put something underneath here so it looks straight. I should not worry about that, but I am worried about it because I have a little bit of an ego and I hate things that are crooked. So now it's not crooked. Okay, that's a little bit better. Flowers, yes. Okay, we have somebody earthy and organic. Love it. And let's just do a little low, no, in the center. Little flowers. So I'm just scribbling. Again, we're just doing like a little bit of a character design. I'm going to be doing a painting. I just started the underdrawing yesterday of the figure walking in a field of flowers, and it's a nighttime scene. So I'm really excited about that. And now what can I do over here? I'm looking at my bookshelves. They're just books. Let's do some upright books. Cool. Now, let's do the inside of the shelf a little darker. And let me use my bridge like I said I was going to. Scribble, scribble, scribble. Don't worry about perfection. It's just a thumbnail sketch, but it's a big thumbnail sketch. Maybe put a radio on the shelf. That's a great idea as well. So I can do that right now. So we can do an old-fashioned radio with a little speaker in the middle, and it's made out of old mahogany wood or something like that. So with this type of stuff, when you're working this small, it's really, really, really important for you guys to resharpen. This should be vertical. Now I've destroyed the window. I'm going to make the wood molding a little bit darker where the floor meets the wall. I tell my animation students all the time, when you do an interior design like this for your animation, don't just do a line where the floor meets the wall. That is so boring. Try to make it so you have like a pretty solid piece of molding. And the students always look at me like, molding, what is that? And I'm like, molding where the floor meets the wall. So yeah, it's just a nice finishing touch. Okay, so this window, I've neglected this window. And I don't even like the window. So, can I erase it? Yes. I don't like that window. It's not good compositionally. And Let's keep it simple. Like in my background, you can't, oh, I have all those pictures in the background. Let's just design it so it looks like an IKEA room. Some pictures on the wall. Simple. Something like that. And I could do little perspective drawing inside those pictures, but we're not going to. So maybe we have one of them is dark. Maybe one of them has a little hook. A little hook over here. Maybe this one's very tiny. Cool. And let's reinforce the bottom of this. Give this little piece of furniture a little bit of character still. And I don't like the doors. Let me resharpen. Small picture frames on the shelf. Okay, so this chair is the worst part of the drawing. I hate that. Okay, so let's try to fix it. Worst part of the drawing, the chair. Now, this, can I tell you how old this pencil is? I went digging in. I haven't used blue pencils in a while. The eraser is like so dried out. Oh, not too bad, actually. Oh, I was wrong. And the legs on that chair, boy, do they look ugly. My goodness. Cushion on the chair. I want to give you a different view. I'll do some different stuff on the next one. So that chair is what we would call, this is a very technical drawing term. This chair is what we would call god-awful. That's a special term that we use in the classroom. God-awful. Oh, gosh. Okay. God-awful chair. Let's give the bottom of the cabinet. Now, let's just put something, lean in against the cabinet. Maybe we have like a little broom. Brooms are like so old-fashioned. And yeah, so that just loosens it up a little bit. And I might come back to it and push it a little bit more. We should do the wallpaper thing. My favorite artist, it changes all the time. Oh God, who's my favorite now? I love, I'm a little bit obsessed with two artists right now, but not in a way where I'm looking at them all the time. I've just looked at them a little bit as of late. And I love Anders Zorn's etchings. And I love John William Waterhouse's drawings of. There's not many online. They're few and far between. I had bought a John William Waterhouse book on Amazon from my old iPad Mini, and then I had to restore the iPad Mini, and it just was lost. It was so small, but I never bought it again. But his drawings are the best. So now, yeah, that's our little thing. And the chair is awful. Yeah. What can I do to... I just want to screw around here a little bit, guys. Okay. So Craig had bought me these pan pastels, and this is the tool, and I don't like this tool, and it's got black on it. Great, because I just want to take this for fun, because I hate that chair, and I want to take a little bit of this gray blue, put it on here, and let's see what happens if we. Oh yeah, that's not what I was looking for. First time ever using this. It's kind of fun though. So just having fun here, doing a quick little interior. Let's use the residual on the floor. Okay, you know, I really don't even need a lot of that. It's already working for me. And I'm going to draw on top of this now. I really just wanted to destroy that chair. So great way to do some quick sketching. With this little tool, I'm smudging the Col-Erase. See how quickly that works? You know, you can do this in a heartbeat, just like a little bit of tone. And now I'm going to erase, okay? Cool. Let's erase. And let me use, where is it? This guy. So I'm going to just, I really want to pull out, maybe there's a little cushion on the top of the chair that's white. And I'm going to pull out one of those stripes from the wallpaper. And let's go back in with blue. So I'm going to make the decision that this wall is going to be the dark wall. So let's go over that gray with the blue. So I can work on this for hours and make it work better. Yeah, I'm going to have nightmares about that chair. There's always that one thing. That's got to go to the point. So I'm going to take it from round and make it square. Cool. Okay. I got to put it to bed because I want to give you another view. Very quickly. Wallpaper, stripes for some ornateness. So that is 1 point perspective. Would be nice if I put the whole thing in there. 1 point perspective, low point. I'm going to come back to this because I'm getting a little bit over the top with it, but I feel as though I could push it more and have fun with it, but I'm going to leave it. Now, let's do something different. Last thing, give it a nice, strong, powerful border. And the powerful border makes the piece. It's so important that you do that, okay? So that's a quick interior scene. Now, if you're going to put a character in there, this is your open place for the dialogue because there's not too much contrast right over there. And yeah, so now let's do a complete different scene. Let me slide. So I'm using a big pad. Okay, it's huge, 18 by 24. So let's slide that sucker over. And I could do a similar view, but I'm going to do a complete different view. Pencil sharpener. Okay. So let's do maybe the same room looking down or maybe a different room looking down. So now I'm going to just, where am I? Put a point right there. I want to make sure that this is going to be in the scene. Okay, that's that one. This is this one. Okay, Matt. Now, let's just draw our border. And something like that. So it's on the monitor. It's a little bit more 4x3, a little less 16 by 9. And let's do the point. So maybe we're going to draw a room from above. I'm trying to fit this in. That's the floor. This is our vanishing point. This is where one wall meets the floor. This is where the other wall meets the floor. Okay, so we've established a floor. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. And a wall. And let's put a big, tall grandfather clock here. So map it out on the floor. Come on down. Good. So that is one side of the grandfather clock. Now, what I need to do is eliminate stuff on the inside to keep it clean, because we're going to draw the front of that grandfather clock, but it's right there. So that's one thing. Carl Larson, yeah, I got to check him out. I think I know who you're talking about. Top view of a room in 1 point. Yes. So it's easy. You just have to draw a rectangle or a square for the floor. Put a dot right in the middle. It doesn't need to be in the middle, but you could put it in the middle. I'm just showing you that everything in perspective it comes from a box. So it could be a box that we look at like this, and that's 1 point perspective. Now, it could be that you are looking inside of a box, and that's the box. So it's the same perspective. It's the same 1 point. But like I said, this is the first one we drew is very, very boring. So you can take, and 1 point perspective, when I teach it to my students, like they all roll their eyes and are like, oh my God. So I'm just showing you ways here today that you could make it a little bit more interesting. So maybe next to that grandfather clock we have, and the other thing that I'm doing, I don't have my iPhone with me here today, but you can take your camera and just tilt the camera, and you have the same perspective, or just bring your image into Photoshop that you took with a camera of an interior, tilt it, and it's still 1 point perspective. It's just tilted on a diagonal. Yes, I do a live stream every Saturday, at least for now I am, but life changes and who knows how long I can keep this up. So maybe we have a little bit of a picture on the wall. Maybe this is going to be a doorway into this room because we don't want it to just be like a jail cell. Everything goes to the point. Maybe that's a different room, and we're going to make that have light. What else can I hang on this wall? Well, let's give it how are we going to do this with the floor? Do we want the floor to be... Let's have the floor go this way. So I'm just going parallel. These lines do not have anything right now for me to do with perspective. It's just hardwood floor. And you're going to see when I kind of resolve this a little bit more. How far along are we into this? Okay, we're about 40 minutes in. Maybe I'll just do these two. I'll go back to the other one and I'll make it a little bit more interesting. I don't know. I never even thought about super chats as questions. Okay, so molding, where the floor meets the wall. Integral part of creating a scene that has character. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to do the different things have different values. And this one I should really do my best to have a light source. Okay, so let's put in a shadow right over here. So this wall is a little bit more in shadow because the doorway is going to be letting in light. Okay, let me resharpen. God, I don't have any interesting books for beginners for perspective or for self-studies, but I'm sure there's a million of them out there. I would say just Google Loomis perspective and you'll get some. Yeah, it does look like that way. So we're gonna. It's really about us adding things to this scene. Like so, maybe this could be a welcome mat on the floor. And we just have to establish tone first. So my pencil stroke direction is going to the point, to the point, to the point. Good. So we're going to make the, this could be like a cast shadow on the floor. Just give me a moment to map some of this out. Good. And welcome upside down is going to be a zinger for me. Okay, let's finish this clock. Grandfather clock. And maybe it has one of those pendulums. My parents used to have one. And every 15 minutes it would chime. And I just remember when I was like in grade school and I was homesick from school and I wasn't sleeping at night if I had like a cold or something like that. Every 15 minutes, the grandfather clock, every half an hour, every 45 minutes, and then on the hour. Okay, so have your shading lines go to the point. So that's wall is going to cast a shadow on that wall. Let's do a dark picture frame. It's a little weird doing that upside down, and I would like to make the clock look a little bit more ornate. Okay, some molding, some wood separation. Let's give it some wood grain so it's like an old world clock. Okay, Ernest R. Norling is a good starting place on perspective. Okay. Basic is good. I mean, perspective does not need to be complicated. You could keep it somewhat simple. Let's make the clock dark. Maybe something like that. And shadow. And let's see here. Maybe this is a whole nother room over here, but let's leave that room for now. What else can I put in this? Maybe we're going to have a radiator here with, so map it out on the floor. So it's going to be one of those old steam radiators. Go to the point. That's the front of the radiator. This is the top. And I'm keeping it somewhat simple. These should follow to the point. So it actually gets a little confusing. You just have to think of side A, side B. And now from that radiator, the pipes usually come from the floor. But yeah. Yeah, it was the thing. I'm going to have a pipe. Not one that you smoke, but one that brings the steam to the radiator. And we're just going to make a little bit of a cylinder thing. Good. So we're going to make this a landscape. Let me resharpen. And I think I'm going to use this thing one more time, but not put any color on it. I just want to be a little bit speedier with my tone. Cool. Cast shadow. Cast shadow. Now, what I'm going to do here is just put in to the point lines. And this will make everything, just look at the point. Don't be perfect with it. No rulers here. So once we do this, so this would be really good for the wallpaper. The lined, striped. So this is just a different way for you to use one point. It's just a different view, and it's how we take something that is very boring and make it a little bit more interesting, a scene. And I could be a little bit more creative with what I put in this little vestibule here. I mean, what do you come in? You come in from this doorway and you just walk into a box with a clock, a frame, a radiator. So maybe this has to be a doorway that goes to a whole nother part of the house. Okay, so let's do that, because that would be weird. Why would you want to walk into a box? Yeah. Get the corner. Umbrella holder, great idea. Yeah, love it. Let me just get this room a little bit more situated. So now it's just about some values. Sorry for blocking. I'm trying to get these lines to go. Now, if the light is coming from this doorway, this wall would be catching light, right? And these two walls here would be the most shadowy because they're backlit. So you really want to think about the light. Yep. And then this wall would be cast in a shadow. I'm sorry for drawing this way. I'm just trying to get my lines into perspective. And then light would hit this part of the wall over here. This would be really dark. Go to the point with your shading lines. So this is perspective shading lines for maximum effect. And yeah, so that's not bad. Let's do this. And let's try to spell welcome upside down. W E Still very simple there with our perspective. That's our welcome mat. That's our threshold. And maybe we have some steps, which I'm going to kind of keep that bleached out over there. Let's make the pipe a little darker. And yeah, so let me quickly tilt this whole pad. It helped a little. It's totally crooked on video, but like I said, in real life, it's level. Just look at some of these comments. It's the house of a beloved great aunt. Yes. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So let's do the umbrella holder thing. So let's just do to the point, the cylindrical umbrella holder. So it's just a cylinder. Yeah, so the other doorway, what could we do there? So what could we put in that other room? Gosh. I'm going to just, I don't know. Let me think. I don't want two doors to be catching light. So I'm going to give it a floor. Thinking. We're just going to make it dark. Oh, this is killing my hand doing that with that pencil. Yeah, it's just going to be a dark room. Cool. Another coat rack. Let's put an umbrella sticking out of here. Two of them. One is... So now we just have to press down hard. And just looking at your comments. What does a brush do versus a blender? Okay, well, I don't want to use the brushes I use for... Let me get a different brush. I'm going to use an old Bristol brush. And hopefully it doesn't shed all over the place, because these suckers are old. Let me kind of... Yeah, let's use this really old thing. So I don't paint with these. I actually use these to rub paint off of my illustration board. So the brush is just a little less. This one is see how it's flexible? So the more flexible the brush, the less it's going to blend. The more stiff the brush, the more it's going to blend. So this thing is really stiff. This is one of my oldest paintbrushes ever. And so I can press down much harder with this one. And you can probably hear it. So this is great because this is giving me the opportunity to really blend. And now it's really about layers, guys. It's how long do I want to be working on this? Okay, do I want to work on this for hours? Do I want to just go a little bit darker with my line? Yeah, I was thinking about getting my dog to draw again. It was the funniest thing. We were laughing last week after the live stream. I showed everybody in my family. And Truffles is over there snoring. She's not snoring that bad. Let me not jinx it. But maybe I'll kind of disturb her out of her slumber. Dogs are weird. You know, she slept all night, wakes up, has breakfast, does her thing, and now she's sleeping again. I do sometimes. I paint in Photoshop mainly for like demonstrations. I do have a painting, digital painting on my website of a figure that is an older version of Photoshop, but it's, yeah. I don't consciously do it. I just do it mainly when I help digital painters, if that makes sense. One day I want to do one. It's just time right now is crazy. It's about choices. So I'm choosing to do another traditional oil painting. I'm doing the molding. Different things have different values. That's the key. Make sure that we get the little, see this little angle here? So you really make it look like a box to the point. You have to reinforce some of these edges. Tired from all that sleeping, you better believe it. I don't think I might stream parts of the oil painting, but for me, oil painting takes forever. So it literally, I don't do the speed painting thing. I was talking with a coaching student about that this past week in our telephone conversation, and I was asking her about the latest painting tutorial that I did, the oil painting, and she actually, Karen was actually very happy that I didn't speed it up, and she wanted to see all of the real time video. Yeah, she wanted to see the real time video not sped up because she can get the sped up on um, YouTube, and so I didn't speed any of the video up. I think I sped up 20 minutes the last chapter. It was so long. It was like 50 minutes. I'm like, I got to bring this thing a little less long. So I sped that one up a little bit. But the oil paintings just take forever. Okay. I'll think about a figure. I kind of want to figures. I might draw a figure on the side for you, but that's just going to, I could do it. It's not a problem. It's just the time. That could be a whole nother topic for a whole other live stream. And that would be figures in perspective. And I just, believe it or not, got a new perspective course from the college. It's going to be Wednesday mornings starting at 8:30 in the morning in Manhattan. That's going to be interesting. See if it runs, see if students sign up. Just trying to get that floor. And what else can we do here? That's a tough question for me to answer. Where is my audience? It's really from all over the place. It's all over. I mean, people watch from Germany, people watch from New York, people watch from California, people watch from Ireland, people watch from all over the place. So it's hard for me to pinpoint. I'm not really an analytics guy. My life is too busy to study analytics. That's very bad business wise, but like I said earlier, it's really about choices and what you do with your time. In order for me to have like a life and like a Sunday off, there's certain things that you have to not do. And one of them is me studying analytics. Some people have a team and they can study analytics, and that's cool. But that's one of the things that I don't enjoy as an online business owner. Now, Cast Shadow is sharper over here near the doorway. Good. Being a little loose with it. Okay, so that one, it could use a little bit more character. So what do we do here today? We did this one, and it's all right. It's all right. Don't love it. Don't hate it. I think it needs more work. Yeah. So it's okay. different perspective, all just using a point, okay? It's just using a singular point, a 1 point perspective, and I was going to try to do 3 different scenes, but I don't want to go too long today. We're already at an hour. So maybe what I'll do is I'll go back to the first one and I'll just push it a little bit more. Yeah, let's push this one a little bit more. Yeah, the second one just needs more character, and character takes time. Where's that brush? Bear with me here. I'm doing 14 things at once. Yeah, I like the first scene better. So we can push that. Now I'm going to have to use my bridge. Well, okay. So the question from P. Vogel is, would you ever make a stream where you rate and give tips of fans' pieces? And the answer to that is no. Why? Because I'm being a jerk? No, absolutely not. Because I do critiques on Monday for members of my website, and it takes all day kind of to do it. So I'm critiquing work on Monday, and then I have coaching students, and I critique their work. So a big chunk of my time in my week is spent critiquing. So the last thing I would want to do is critique on a live stream. So this live stream is just about drawing. Yeah, I try to focus just on some really basic things here in the live stream. I think I would chase everybody away if I did critiquing as well on the live stream, because I do so much of it on Mondays, and that's when members of my website get their work critiqued. Okay, just adjusting some things over here, just adding more blue. A little darker. Coat rack. Now, yeah, let's just stick with this. I got it, Manuel. Okay, cool. Little hat. So I'm just doing shapes right now. Nothing more, nothing less. So again, this is like a thumbnail sketch. Just a little bit bigger. Okay. Now, I think I'm going to put this to bed. A little darker over there. Cool. Maybe I'll just shade in from the corner with some different pencil stroke direction just to soften the edge. So that one wall is not so different than the other. Wall. It's a little bit of texture. And where's that eraser? Just fixing the legs of that chair, that god-awful chair. So a couple people are asking me questions about my website and all that jazz. So what I recommend that you do, so I don't bore everybody on the live stream, is if you click underneath this video, under more info, you can find out more about what I have to offer people as a teacher. And you can read about it there rather than me talking about it. in the live stream, because if I talk about my website in the live stream, it's going to seem like I'm turning the live stream into a self-promotion thing, which I don't want to do that. But that's kind of how I earn my living. So if you want to learn more about my website and what I do and my coaching, definitely just click on the link right underneath this video where it says show more. Okay, so I think I'm going to put this to bed. This was fun. And yeah, I would have liked to have done a little bit better, but it's just a thumbnail. And I could, I think using the pan pastel wasn't a good option, but I tried to do something different. And I think that pan pastel color I thought would have been a little bit bluer, but I was wrong. And it's all good. You know, what we can do here is we could just keep working on this and working on it and working on it. And we could make it better. It's just all about time. I've always wanted to sketch inside a cafe like urban sketching. This will help me get started. So, okay. Now, that's really important that you asked that about urban sketches and getting started. So when you guys are drawing from, so let's put these two drawings to bed. I could keep working on them. So here's 1 point perspective number 1. This is our horizon line. And that's our vanishing point. And different things need to have different values. And so I tried to make the floor a different value than the walls. Okay. Now, this is 1 point perspective, but we're looking down at this. We're just going to call it a vestibule, where you kind of walk in to this little space. And basically, it's just, you have to think about everything with perspective is about a box. So with this, we are just looking into a box. I have a tangent here. I hate tangents. Tangents are where one thing touches another. So this goes to the point, goes to the point, goes to the point. It doesn't look like a box right there, but really, perspective is just drawing boxes. And everything originates from a box. So that's our simple room looking down. And our vanishing point is right in the middle. Okay? And this is a very traditional 1 point perspective box. And that's our vanishing point. That's our horizon line. Now, getting back to doing urban sketching and going to a cafe, if the cafe is actually open, would be your vanishing point is where your head is across the room. Right now, if I'm going to draw this room in perspective, my vanishing point is across from where my head is. You have to kind of, if you're in a coffee shop, don't just put a vanishing point down like randomly and start drawing like I did here today. Instead, find out, look across the room. Let's say you're drawing at Starbucks and it's a long Starbucks in the city. And you're sitting down at like the front window where the door is and you want to draw the whole Starbucks. Look across from where you are sitting. Your vanishing point will be where your head is across the way. And your horizon line will be at the height of your eyes. Okay? That is really, really important. And that's what I ask my students when we draw the classroom. I ask my students to find where their head is across the way. That's their horizon line. So if they're sitting in a chair, which is what we do in the classroom, we use drawing horses. And if you're sitting on a drawing horse and you look across the room and then you put the vanishing point up higher as if you were standing, that's going to be the wrong perspective for where your head is. So when you're in a coffee shop and you're drawing from life and you're just urban sketching, don't draw the horizon line first and then try to fit everything into that. Find out where your head is across the room and yeah, you go from there. So if I do that very quickly here, I'm running out of room. Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm running out of room. Let me see if I can't move my mic over. Yeah, it's not going to happen. So I have this little spot. So if I'm drawing from life, what I'll do is, let's say there's like a column, and I draw the column like that, and I'm in a coffee shop, and then there's and maybe there's a picture on the wall, because in like a coffee shop, sometimes they have really cool pictures. I pull this and I pull that, and I'm running out of room. Bend my pad here. Pull this, pull that, pull the picture frame, and where they combine or where they meet is where your head is. Now you've found where your horizon line, that's your eyes. This would be your body sitting down on the chair. Okay? And then you just keep drawing from there. And maybe there is the counter where you go and you choose, and all my proportions are off, but that's the way that you do perspective. First you draw the object or an area that looks understandable to you, right? And then you find out where your horizon line is. All right, guys, this was very, very fun. I really do appreciate you joining me today. I think next week what I'll do on the live stream is I'll get back to a longer portrait drawing, and maybe I'll do a portrait drawing for you using perspective. And let me go grab something very, very quickly. I'll show you what I'm working on now, or at least what I'm starting to work on. So I'm starting an oil painting for myself, and I'm doing it on illustration board. You can see the illustration board. It's 4-ply. And I did my underdrawing of Erica. And so I'm going to now, next to Erica, do the background. And so I've kind of mapped her out, and I'm blocking myself here. Hopefully you guys can see that. And that's how I like to do my underdrawings, not too much detail. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my background. I have my photo reference for that. It's a bunch of flowers. It's a nighttime scene. It's going to be really cool. And then I draw all of this out, and then I spray fix it, and then I do my underpainting. This painting that I'm doing here is very different than how I did the oil painting demo on my website, where I just started painting with a brush. But yeah, this is going to be fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. So thank you guys so much, Joseph, Ileana, Manuel. I think that's Peter, Vogel, Sanjeev, Jill. Boy, that's a tough one. Muncl. Anastasia, Leilina. Awesome. Let me move this over a little bit so it's in the frame. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Let me get Truffles and give her a cameo. Okay, hold on. So yeah, Truffles she just wanted to say goodbye to all you guys and have a really, really good Saturday. And she's just yeah, I'll be here next Saturday drawing, and I think I'm going to do a portrait, and it should be fun. Thank you, Aurora. Thank you, Ismael, JBM Creative, Mike, Frankie J, Kelly, and Rob. Myth Dust Turds. Cool. Nancy. Yeah. Okay, guys. I'll see you soon, okay? Truffs, what do you think? You want to go outside? Who's here? Who's here? Is somebody coming over? See you guys.